Mr. Graham, there was a battle of early heavyweights in the championship this week.
Yes, there was.
And someone surprising won, and somebody very surprisingly did not win.
Yes.
And what's even funnier is that it's going to make Newcastle people get all kinds of feelings about it.
Well, they're going to be half excited, half disappointed.
Yeah.
We'll see.
And then Pompey's just doing what Pompey's been doing, which is carrying on.
Dead even.
Let's start the show.
Born in the land of Bowie, Maryland. Bred to be a fan of fucking Everton. Punch you in the eye and drink your rye. Sam Houston.
Sam Houston?
Arsenal fans have another Sam. AKA the fucking Gooner Graham. Snub of a lord. Look straight in shorts. Sam Graham, hey.
Sam Graham.
Fucking United! Fucking United!
Hello and welcome to DU Does EFL, a brief biased recap of the rest of English.
Beefy brief.
I'm keeping it fucking going. Of the rest of English football, as told by two common American schmucks. I'm your host, Sam Houston, and across the way from me, waiting for every verbal slip that I could have, but wasn't around for my real slip this weekend,
Hey.
is Mr. Samuel Graham. How you doing there, bud?
Not too bad, Bear. How are you? Just keep the beef on slinging, buddy.
Yeah, trying my best. And of course, on the ones and twos, we have producer Mel. How are you doing?
Moo. What?
We're recording at the DU Public House just outside the nation's capital. You can check us out wherever you get your podcast. And of course, streaming live every single Monday night. And it sounds like YouTube is the place where all the party is happening.
Apparently, it's also on Mel's circular system.
So, should you want to chat with us, there is many ways that you can. Mr. Graham, tell the good people how they can get in touch.
It's at DU Football Show on all the social media, of course, and dufootballshow@gmail.com to get in touch via email.
Very good. We are
Too
drinking,
much Happy Pen.
We are drinking the exact same shit, and Mel is smoking the exact same shit, just more of it. So let's go ahead and get right into it. As I mentioned at the beginning, Sam, an early season battle saw Sunderland beat Burnley 1-0, and that now has them and Watford as the only 2-3-0 teams at the top of the table.
The issue I have with this is I don't think either one of them is going to be able to sustain that, obviously.
Yeah, I tend to agree.
But it's the championship and you never know, right? Some people have... This is one of those leagues where the best of the league can compete in the Prem.
Mm-hmm.
The worst in the league are League One players that couldn't be sold.
Right.
So you've got this weird swath of very elite talent and very, kind of third-tier talent.
Couple that with the fact that Burnley started off on fire the first two games of the season and looked like they were going to go right where they took off when they were in the championship 2 seasons ago, which was beating the ever-loving shit out of everyone.
Yeah, so let's start there then.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see the post-match with Scott Parker?
No, I did not.
Good, because they asked him what goals he had set for the club when he came in and what his plan was, and he said there were no goals. I just didn't set any targets.
Really?
Yeah, there was a lot right here, and we just want to keep that going.
Okay.
That's
Should
inspiring words.
Should be at least win the fucking league.
Inspiring words from
win
the
league,
manager.
get promoted again.
From the guy that wears 1,700-pound cardigans on the side of the pitch. There could be a bit more of a cohesive, coherent, and
much
just message.
Much like a supermodel. Really easy to look at. Not a lot going on upstairs. Leeds got their first win of the season.
Finally,
beating Wednesday on Friday 2-0. That was just fun to say.
It always happens.
It's great to say.
We do it every time.
Whenever Wednesday plays, we say Wednesday on the day that they played. It just makes us feel happy, doesn't it?
It does feel good. Yeah, I mean, fantastic for Leeds. They needed something because those first 2 games of the season were just, you had the barn burner with Portsmouth, and then last week losing, obviously.
Well, a draw.
It was another draw. Yeah, you're right. It was 0-0 though.
Yeah,
it was. I wanted to shoot myself. That's why I thought, because everyone that watched it, Sam, lost that day.
Aronson scored, and why am I forgetting his name? The kid from that went to United that came from Swans. That's now with them.
I don't remember.
Daniel James. Daniel James was the other goal scorer.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, so that was their 2 goal scores. And honestly, that's going to be a lot of their goal scoring this year with the pieces that they've lost.
Yes, I would tend to believe so because I don't think they're going to be able to pick anybody up. They claim they're in financial hardship, even though they were in the Premier League last season. But
2 seasons ago.
They had a mass. Oh, you're right. Yeah, that they didn't. Oh, that's right.
Because they didn't get promoted.
It didn't get promoted. It all just blends together, Sam, at some point. Yeah. But they are in financial hardship because they have had a load of massive Premier League contracts still on the books.
Yep.
So they can't really bring anyone in, despite the sales of some of their best talent really over the last 10 days.
Yeah, they got to manage the books. That's exactly what they have to do. And that's the problem with the parachute payment. It's great. You get that parachute payment. You got to figure out a way to get right the fuck back up, though.
Correct. And also next season, the parachute payment goes down. After this is the last season at $42 million. I think it goes down to 37, I think I heard.
Got it.
So you get $5 million less.
So Pompey continued their drawing ways. They drew 2-2 at Middlesbrough. So a couple of the, you know what?
But Mike Carrick's not having a great time there all of a sudden. Yeah, he started off really well at Middlesbrough.
Yeah, it's all decent teams, I mean, Luton's at the bottom of the table right now, but Luton's a team that just came down from the Premier League. Leeds is a team that competed to get promoted. And Middlesbrough is somebody who's always in and around it. So for Pompey, this is fine.
Yeah, especially when Luton's goalkeeper thinks he plays rugby.
Yeah, very true.
That didn't help Luton at all.
What I think Pompey needs to make sure they do is they're going to eventually play somebody like Plymouth. They need to beat them, right?
Absolutely.
That's when they're going to start to get those matches when they play Wednesday. These are the teams that need to beat.
Right, exactly. I told you about it when we spoke about Arsenal, right? Say we lost the league at Villa, that was the one that confirmed it. The league was lost against Fulham and West Ham, right?
Precisely.
You have to beat the teams that you're supposed to be in and around. And for Pompey being in League One for so long and then coming up, it's going to be Plymouth that you have to beat. It's going to be, I know they went down, but the likes of Huddersfield Town and those sorts of teams that are in that, 19th, 18th through 24th realm, that's who you have to win the games against.
Yeah. Now, Pompey is amongst several teams that have not lost yet. So you have them. Hull City's also at 3 draws, no wins, no losses. Of course, Leeds is on 1 win, 2 draws. And then you have, obviously, at the top of the table, you have both Watford and Sunderland, both on 3-0. So
3-0, yep.
Now, the bottom of the table sees some people that you wouldn't normally expect to see down there: Millwall, Luton, and Cardiff. They currently occupy the bottom 3 spots, but everybody in the league has a point. Everyone's gotten at least a draw.
Okay.
So the entire...
It's better than Everton and Wolves.
And it's the parity of that league, too, though. But it's honestly, it's the parity of the championship. Everyone gets some points.
I would expect Millwall to get out of it, obviously.
I would expect it, too.
They're not usually in this position, really. Cardiff, I find less convincing. Their finances are an issue, have been for ages. Basically, since Neil Warnock was in charge, their finances weren't the best. But yeah, Luton, you got to figure Premier League team coming down. I didn't see a mass exodus from that club either.
No.
So you'd imagine they'd find a way to be
They'll
safe.
Figure it out.
Excuse me, and we'll see some different teams occupy the bottom. The other thing you have is the championship is 3,000 games long. So
I would say somebody like Plymouth is already just sitting on the outside of it, and I know we have a soft spot for Plymouth, but let's face it, Plymouth is a League One team. That's what they always have been. So probably sophomore jinx, and they'll probably go back down. You would
could
imagine.
be, especially with Wayne Rooney in charge.
But I do think
That's
in that
not
regards,
going well.
But someone I feel like Pompey's going to figure out a way to stay up, just because I have a feeling a lot like Sunderland. It took you forever to get out of League One. Now you are out of League One. You are not fucking going back. Yeah. You will make sure you do not go back. You may not make it to the Prem, but you ain't going back to fucking League One.
That's going to depend on that weird French owner that does up bars for Newcastle fans. Stuff.
Stockport just keeps on fucking winning in League One. This time they won 2-0 over Bristol Rovers. So them, Huddersfield, and Charlton Athletic all got victories and hold serve at 3-0-0. But Stockport, it's the, they just keep rolling. They're beating teams, beating them convincingly, not giving up goals. I have a feeling Huddersfield will do very, very well. We talked about it last week. It would not surprise me if Huddersfield went straight the fuck back up.
Yeah, it wouldn't. They're too big of a club now. Recently being in the Prem and everything else, with all that influx of cash, because they weren't one of the teams that signed 150 players
right
when they came up either. Right,
yeah.
Their manager was on not great wages for Premier League managers, so when they sacked him, they didn't have to shell out a shit ton of money.
Yeah, precisely.
Comparatively. So I think their finances are still fine. They should be able to kind of roll the championship, to be honest with you. I'm sorry, League One, rather, and get back to the championship.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what Stockport does.
But if they don't, they're in fucking trouble.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's just like what's happened to Reading, what happened to Derby County, what happened to Sunderland, what happened to Pompey, like what happened to Bolton. All of these teams, like that, if you fall out of the championship, that really changes things, because then it's not guaranteed TV money every week. At least when you're in the championship, there's still some fucking TV money.
Yeah, but with Pompey, I mean, those sins were committed while they were a Premier League club.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they went into administration, had no money then.
Yeah, precisely.
It was well worse for them, because they started the championship season after they went down. They started the championship season with a point deduction.
Yeah.
Then it was decided they liquidated the company altogether and had to start a new Portsmouth.
Yeah.
Technically, Portsmouth were founded in like 2017 or some shit.
Yeah.
Or 12 or whatever it was. It's
yeah.
something like, back in the day is what I'm saying.
Right.
The, you'd hope it's not that bad for some of these other teams, really.
Agreed very much. Now, Wrexham moved into fourth place with a 3-0 win over Reading. Reading, remember I told you from the parking lot of the Blues matches, I met someone who is a massive Reading supporter, so had a little bit of talk with him online. Apparently, they are in the middle of a takeover. So all the finances that kind of fucked them last year
owners were fucking terrible,
and they're in the midst of a takeover. So you have a feeling once they get that takeover done, they'll figure out a way, and they'll be getting right back up to the championship where they belong. It's maybe occasionally they go up to the Prem, but for the most part, this is a 10th place team in the championship. That's what they should be. It
has been for a long time,
and that's what they should be, right? So I would imagine it's get the sale done, and then from there you can.
Do you remember when Petr Cech fractured his skull?
Yep.
That was an Irish Reading player that did it, if you remember correctly.
All right. And then Wigan is on the board. They got a 1-0 win over Crawley Town.
Good for Ben.
Yeah.
Because he's from Wigan.
Mm-hmm.
Supports them, obviously, other than the team he actually works for.
Right.
But it's still a rugby town, and it doesn't surprise me they've taken this long to get off the mark.
Speaking of Ben's other love, Accy got worked in League Two, 3-1 to Newport. They currently sit in 22nd place. So remember, only 23rd and 24th go down.
Yeah, that's bad for Accy. For those that don't know, obviously there's some new people on. We should probably explain who Ben is. Ben Kay is the groundskeeper at Accrington Stanley, formerly of Chorley FC.
Yep.
Where he rose to English and wider worldwide soccer community kind of lore,
right,
as the groundskeeper that was able to keep the pitch unfrozen for Tottenham's visit to Chorley.
It was Derby County they beat, and then the next round they lost to Wolverhampton.
Oh, it was Wolves. That's right. Yeah. Oh no,
but it was Derby County was the one that they kept it unfrozen for, and they won that game in the third round of the FA Cup too.
But they are a team that is well non-league, 6th or 7th tier easily. But Ben was pictured with a very clear coffee mug filled with Guinness. I'm sure is as the lore goes. sleeping on the field with a hairdryer in his hand and space heaters around to keep the pitch unfrozen, basically. Yep. And they built a tent around the place and the whole nine. Anyway, he was kind enough to give us an interview back in the day. Mm-hmm. And we have glommed on to... We loved Accrington Stanley anyway. As
one of the original 12.
As a club, one of the original 12, but also, as I always say, and I have to reiterate, the Leyton Orient of the North. Yeah. Where everyone's second club in London is Leyton Orient, everyone's second club up north is Accrington Stanley. And for some reason still felt the need to release a commercial in the mid-90s that goes, "We're Accrington Stanley." And the person replies something along the lines of, "Who's that?"
Who's Accrington Stanley? Exactly.
Yeah.
It's the kid drinking milk. He goes, "You know what? One day I'm going to grow up big and strong and be a striker for Accrington Stanley." Who's Accrington Stanley? Exactly.
Yeah. So, but everybody fucking does know the club. So that's where this comes from, just so you know. And it's a shame to see this happen, especially Newport County and their potato patch of a pitch
field,
that we've seen many times now in the recent FA Cup.
That is hosted not one, but two monster truck rallies. That's very important to know.
Exactly right.
And the Dons got a win, which I know we're not too terribly happy about, but they are out of the cellar, and the cellar is now held by, we know their name is Morcambe, but that's not what we call them. Shrimps out for Morcambe, man. Shrimps out for Morcambe. They're in last place right now. We can't have that. Not Morcambe. Not the Shrimps.
And again, with new people joining in, the inside joke is Dick's out for Harambe that showed up on that overhead sign on an American highway. And Morcambe is spelled the same suffix.
Yep. Morcambe. It's Morcambe, and they have a shrimp on there. They are the Shrimps, and it is a shrimp on their crest.
And we're white, so get your shrimps out for Morcambe.
Shrimps out for Morcambe, baby. Finally, the League Cup is...
Well, excuse me.
Yes.
Pardon me.
Yes.
You skipped over my natural rival.
Oh, yeah. Gillingham's still in first.
Fuck Gillingham.
Yeah, just in Bradford. Bradford City sits at in second place as well.
Good for them, but fuck Gillingham.
They beat I forget who it was. They beat somebody decent. So, and
I have a beef with the most boring town in England, and that is Gillingham.
Gillingham, you mean the Gills? Even though they call them Gills. Yeah,
I hate Gillingham.
Right.
Gillingham.
Finally, the League Cup. The League Cup is this Tuesday and Wednesday. A few notable matches. Now, neither Villa or Arsenal are playing because they are in European spots, so they get to sit out this round.
We get a bye.
Right off the bat, Everton hosts Doncaster, which was the match we played last year in the League Cup, and it's the match that we won to kickstart things a little bit for us.
I see a 2-0 loss.
And Doncaster was... At the time when we played them, dead last in the league, and they were up on us 1-0 for most of the game. It took a late game winner from Beto.
Everything looks smashing.
Exactly.
Can't wait.
Tranmere, everybody's favorite
Liverpoolian club.
Yep.
Yeah.
Especially good old Dino. That was his team, right?
Oh, Mike Dean's?
Yep.
Yeah.
They head to Leicester. Wolves host Burnley. That should be a pretty decent one. And then there are two all-prem fixtures. West Ham get the Cherries at home, and Forest will host Newcastle.
I think West Ham win, and honestly, I think Forest have a good shot.
Yeah, agreed. I wouldn't be surprised.
I think Newcastle's going to rest players, especially with their injury record from last season. They've already got the Fabian Schär red card. Mm-hmm. Don't fuck it up in the League Cup again now that you're fit, able to play again. So you're going to sit.
And they've made it to the semis or the finals in the last 2 years. So I think they're going to, what's a surefire way to get into Europe? Win a fucking cup.
Yeah, but I think what I'm saying is I think Newcastle's going to rest players because I think they're worried about the league.
Heard. Fair enough.
And then Fabian Schär being an idiot.
I got you.
He's also taken his suspension and retired from international football.
No shit. No, I didn't see that.
He did.
I would say I fancy Burnley to beat Wolves. Wolves aren't off to a particularly great start. Burnley is, and I think Burnley would love to have a go against a former Premier League side.
Yeah, I don't unfancy that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so. Although they do have to travel to the Molineux, so that might end up proving to be a little tough. But
I mean, apparently, again, according to Mattaweke, it is. This town is shit.
yeah.
It's just terrible.
Note, I did say parting words this time, not party words. So, but should you have party words, by all means, say party words.
Fucking get them down, yeah.
Blackout drunk, fall upstairs.
I have nothing.
Break a foot.
Yeah, and nobody that I've seen over the last 10 days has been a particular dickhead in the championship either. So.
Agreed.
Yeah.
All right. Very good. Next up is injury time, and that's where we're going to preview the weekend's action. We'll talk a little bit about our fantasy league and the beers that we're drinking as well. And should somebody want to find injury time, Mr. Graham, how they go about doing it?
One last time, it's patreon.com/DFootball Show. Just sign up to that $1 $5 tier. You get all the extra stuff that we do, which is a lot of fun, extra content. So check it out.
And, of course, be sure to check out our TikTok channel. All throughout the weekend, we do halftime check-ins. We talk about the games throughout the weekend as well. Great place to get content from us. We also, Mel breaks down the entire show into video and has...
Mel's not going to do that anymore.
She does the whiskey segment for us and a few other fun things.
Mel will pull out some specific clips.
Lots of shots of us doing Malort in the wild. And there's some interviews with some players and stuff and just fun things. So go check it out.
The other thing is sometimes if I'm on halftime check-in duty, depends if I'm running kids around somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
I've got 2 soccer-age playing kids. Oh, by the way, EFL exclusive. Let's make people listen to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tegan made varsity.
Woo! Holy shit.
Yeah, has a very real chance of being the starter as a freshman.
Wow.
Yeah, fucking dope.
Get in, girl.
Come on.
Well done.
Yeah, it's the proud papa here.
Love
very pretty good. But yeah, so check all that shit out.
That was easy.
Yeah, we did. She only started playing goalkeeper a year ago. Remember?
Yeah, exactly.
So it's that kind of shit we get into on the extras. Check it out. It's a lot of fun. It really is a lot of fun.
Excellent. All right. Till
and
next.
injury time especially because we're kind of dropped.
Yeah. Till next week, everybody.
Good night.
Born in the land of Bowie, Maryland. Bred to be a fan of fucking Everton. Punch you in the eye and drink your rye. Sam Houston.
Sam Houston.
Arsenal fans have another Sam. Right day, the fucking Gooner Graham. Smells of a lord. Looks great in shorts. Sam Grammy.